The first thing we need to do to get Express up and running is to make a little room in our IDE to have some space, and we can clear out what we had in here originally. And we can add just a simple line of code. And what this line of code gives us is a reference to Express, a pointer to the Express package and all of its goodness. To use Express though, our app needs a live instance of Express. So we need a line like the following to create that instance. As JavaScript executes from top to bottom in sequential order, we now have, early on in the program, line 2, a line to execute Express and provide us the instance we need to be able to actually work with Express. Now that we're pulling Express into our actual application, there's one thing we should consider. Just like with Node.js, Cloud9 provides us with Express by default when we use the Node.js template to set up our project originally. However, we should have better control over the Express version that we are using. We can do this with NPM. What is NPM, you say? Well, let's take a look. NPM is Node's package management system. Any packages we use in a project will be managed by NPM. We tell NPM which package we need, and it downloads it, installs it, and manages updates for us. We'll use lots of packages in our project, and right now we need Express from NPM. So we'll have NPM get a specific version for us and manage any updates that may become available. Soon we'll need Gulp, then we'll need MongoDB. NPM will help us get all of these, then manage the versions we use for us as well. One other interesting thing about NPM is that it has its own versioning syntax, and we can take a look at that now. We can tell NPM what version of a package to install and what to update or not to update. The most common options for version control in NPM are the following. Only major versions. The caret in front of a package version number in our package.json configuration file indicates NPM can update the package within the same major version. For only minor version upgrades, the tilde tells NPM to update only minor version upgrades. Then, if we want to just stay on a specific version, we can just put the actual version number in with no tildes or no carets, and no upgrades will automatically happen. We can change the number when we're comfortable with an upgrade and feel it's safe to apply. So let's get NPM set up, and we can see the configuration file that it creates, and we'll get Express installed. We'll take a look at that configuration file and see exactly how this versioning syntax works. And back here in the IDE, to get NPM working, we need to get a new terminal and use the command npm init. What this does is sets up a configuration file called package.json. The process will ask us a bunch of questions. We can just follow the defaults by hitting enter. So go ahead, hit enter to get the process started. We're going to see a bunch of questions here, and we can just default through them by hitting enter. And it looks like everything is good. So hit enter again, and the process is complete. What this did is it created a file over here called package.json at our project root. And if we look in the file, we have a bunch of interesting stuff by default. We can see the dependencies that we have installed already. These were installed for us by Cloud9 when we set our project up. We can see Express here is installed. However, maybe version 3.2.6 isn't a current version. So what we can do is at the command line again, do npm update. NPM then will read through our JSON file and check for any updates to the packages that we do have installed. And look, it found an update for Express 3.21.2 and installed that for us. We can see here Express 3.21.2. But I know that there is a 4. Version, and we can go up into our package.json file and do a 4.13.3. and save this file. Then go back here and use the up arrow, npm update, hit the enter key. Node is going to go back out there and take a look, and Express 4.13.14 was found, and it installed that for us. So we now have a current version of Express with Express installed and managed by NPM. So let's get back to working with Express. First thing we can do is drop our terminal window. we can close out package.json. We're done looking at that. And remember what we have here now is a reference to Express and an instance of Express running. So Express is our web part of this whole solution. Remember, the next thing we need to do with Express is to provide a port for Express to listen for requests on. So we can do that quite easily. However, with Cloud9, we don't have the option to assign this port ourselves. We use a globally provided port by Cloud9, which has a port value assigned to a global variable. So let's plug that in. So we have created a variable called port, and a lot of times you would do something like use port 5000. Thank you. All good. But what we're doing is using, like I said, this Cloud9 global variable, which assigns a port for us. And that's just a part of using the IDE in the cloud. And with this port value, we can tell Express to start listening for requests. We do this via a command called listen. And listen takes 2 arguments in its signature. Let's plug that in. And the 2 arguments that listen takes are first the port value, which we assigned in the line above, and the second argument is a callback function. If you don't know, a callback function is a method like listen, in this case, needs to do when it's done with its original task. So for the listen command, we're telling Express to start listening on the port we provide, then execute this callback function that we're providing. So let's flesh out the body of the callback function. It's pretty simple. What we want it to do is do a console log and output server is running on port and whatever that port value is. And what's cool here is because we don't know exactly what this port is, Cloud9 is assigning that port for us. If we do this console log, we'll be able to look down in the console and see what port this actually is. So when we run our app, we'll see that. And the callback function signature provides an error just in case, and then spits out a status report to the console for us to see. And with that, we can save our app.js file and go to the console. So we'll open a new terminal, and we need to cd into our project root. We're there. And now we can use the node command, node app.js, which means node run app.js for us. Hit enter, and here we go. The server is running on port 8080. So everything ran. Express is working for us because we've told it to assign a port and log that port number out when our application starts. And that's exactly what happened. So we're in good shape.